Scribble notes when I wrote these quotes. If I offend, pardon me, there's more of me to grow. Creative in my process, enjoy the show. The will is different when you recognize the different strokes. Different folks, same goals, we all want the most. So when we reach the top, we can enjoy the toast. The type of bread we get is fresh about the bakery. Told them don't play with me. With or without a degree, don't question my intensity. Bravery, similar to agencies that want to see you fold. So just pray for me. Yeah, Einstein with my energy.
So all those advantages kind of came together. All the mistakes that I, made along the way, I was able to rectify them with the next book. And like, okay, so this is what I have to do. So it's like the stars aligned at that point. And also when I released the first book, I had 7,000 subscribers. And when I released book 2, I had over 100,000. So that helped a little.
Just a tad bit. Right. Just a tad bit. What are some best practices that you find work really well for aspiring authors, or things that you or tips you give people who are trying to start out?
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? The first thing I will say, specifically if you're going the indie route, is hire an editor. Like, come on, stop being an idiot. There are so many people who are like, well, I proofread real good. And it's like, okay, I don't care if your mom tells you that you're great at spelling. Hire a freaking editor. You need eyes on your book. You need eyes on your work that are not your own, that are not biased. Just hire one. But before you even get there, obviously you have to write the book. I think a lot of it comes with, one, obviously write the story that you want to read. Write the story you're passionate about, because the writing process is not fun the whole way through. There are going to be lots and lots and lots of moments that you're just like, I hate this. This is horrible. It's, it's tedious. And it's a lot easier to get through those moments if you are passionate about the project, because then you have that motivation of, but I really want my readers to see these characters do the thing and kill the baddies and all that. So write the story that you want to read. Also take ownership. I get so sick of hearing people be like, I was going to write today, but my characters just weren't getting along and they were misbehaving. It's like, shut up. You made them up. They're not real. You didn't write today because you were feeling lazy, or because you had writer's block, or because a multitude of reasons that are valid, but they are you. They're not your characters. So take ownership of the job. And also, one of the best practices, I think, is to stop looking at the bigger picture, because it's going to overwhelm you. There are a million steps to writing and publishing a book, let alone marketing it and creating an author platform. So create smaller, easy to achieve goals and just look at those. So for example, I create quarterly goals every 3 months. And one of my quarterly goals this month is to write 100 pages, which that alone is kind of like, okay, that's a big amount. So then week by week, I create smaller goals. Like, okay, this week I'm going to write on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm going to write 10 pages each day, something like that. Just smaller goals that are much more achievable, much more realistic. Like, be aware of what you are capable of. If you're a mom with 5 kids, obviously it's going to take you a little bit longer to write this book because you've got a crap ton of responsibilities. So just separate it into these smaller goals and it won't feel so overwhelming and stifling.
I think you hit on a ton of really good points, because the writing process is not easy. And it can seem really fun, especially when you first start. It's like, yay, I'm going to start writing. And then you're like, oh gosh, I am a chapter in and I hate the first chapter. I hate the second chapter, and I'm already 5 chapters deep and I don't know where I'm going. All that plays a role.
And that's another thing. It was similar with YouTube. Give yourself room to suck, and just understand that the rough draft is called the rough draft for a reason, because it's rough. It's going to be awful. I mean, recently I'm working on the Savior's Army, and recently I was just having the worst time writing this fight scene. And it got to a point where it was taking me days to write it. And I just said, oh, to hell with it, and I had some wine to like kind of loosen me up, and I finished the fight scene, and then I went to edit it whilst sober. And there were so many moments where I was just like, oh my gosh, Jenna, how wasted were you when you wrote this? There were sentences where I don't even understand what I was trying to say. But the point is, it was written. I mean, it was terrible, but I didn't judge myself for it. I had a good laugh. I edited it and now it's readable. And then I will edit it again at another point in the process. But you just got to give yourself room to be human, to suck, to write some crap, because you can work with the crap. You can make it good, you know? So don't expect it to be flawless out the gate, because it's not going to happen. No one's flawless out the gate.
I always like to tell people, like, it's okay to write bad. Like, if you just write bad and you got through the scene, you're going to go back and edit no matter what. Like, no matter what, you're going back to it. So you don't have to be perfect on the first round.
And no one's perfect on the first round. So you're holding yourself to absolutely unachievable standards. So, and a blank page, you can't do anything with that, but a page of garbage, at least you've got something. There's got to be one gem in there. You know, you've got something to work with.
Absolutely.